Thank you for this invitation. I'm here as a president of the Italian Society for Remote Sensing. So what I try to draft here is the role, expected role and the actual role of remote sensing, in particular from very above, that means Earth observation satellites, for crime detection and supporting crime detection and management. This is what you have already seen by Christina, so it's very good for me because I jump over, because this is the framework where we move around, and Earth observation data are very sensible to these issues because they are very critical from a legal point of view, as I will draft better later. Anyway, this is the framework where we move on. Actually, in June, ESA was so aware about this problem that organized this event in Frascati, which actually deals with this topic we are discussing about today, and going around the material they provided, and you can find on the website of this event. I tried to summarize the contents, and on the left side of this slide you recognize the most explored application for crime detection that were presented in that occasion, and somehow are the most presented one. So you have deforestation and illegal logging, responsibility of forest fire, wastewater, thermal pollution at sea, river, oil spills from offshore platforms and boats, water chemical pollution, illegal plowing, illegal dumping and quarries, groundwater depletion. These are the main issues that Earth observation data can be provided support for. How it works in general, I can have no time enough for entering the problem, but what we can say is that the general workflow we have is the one based on optical, SAR, thermal, gravimetric data, and point clouds, and Earth observation as a feature, which is the repeatability and the high frequency and the temper of the mind for acquisition that makes possible to think about monitoring. Right? So the reference technique is change detection in the most of cases. That's time to zero is compared with the time to 1, to 2, and so on, looking for changes occurring in this bidimensional space, which is our images or thermal acquisition or SAR image. So in general, we work with the intensity of signal, but in other cases, we move around the sliding window and providing zonal statistics that can support local investigation and giving more information than the single pixel-based one, right? So here there's some example just to give you some appealing slides, not only very boring one like the previous one. Anyway, for deforestation is something that looks for changes in forest cover and where in places where we're not provided for that. Water, for example, looks for plume of pollutants that are discharged in open water or so on. Both working with SAR images or optical images, depending on the topic we have. And basically, we have two tasks to deal with. One is detection. That means recognize that something is occurring there. On the other side, we have quantification of the intensity of changes or of the pollutant concentrations, for example, right there. So depending on this, we have different workflow to follow and to provide. Here is some slides showing some example from dumping, from illegal quarries open in a forested area, so we have double crime, which is quarries, illegal quarries, and deforestation. And a very interesting application I found is the gravimetric-based one, which looks for water depletion that occurred in the formation of the ground given by extraction of water from illegal takings, right? What I asked to myself is, but our research is facing this problem, and which is the sensitivity of the research community in respect of crime. So my feeling is that there is a low perception of environmental damage as a crime. So research deal with recognition of environmental damage, but it not assign a value as a crime. And this is clear in the Scopus databases, for example. If you look for, with some keywords like the one I show you, if I look for environmental crimes or remote sensing, we have quite, not so much, but some tens of work, so it's very small application. If you move more in detail, then you use the keywords environmental crimes plus remote sensing plus logging or deforestation, you find just 15 papers. But if you remove environmental crimes and you look for remote sensing and deforestation logging, you find 4,822 papers. That means that the crime is not in the head of researchers, while the damage, environmental damage, is. And the techniques for facing that is problem. This is for forest, but it's the same for the other. If you look at quarries and dams, okay, 10 papers working with crime. If you remove environmental crimes, you find 669 works. So communities working around these topics, but has not a perception that these topics are crimes. They never use this word. This is a problem in the title where they have. Okay, so here's for water, the same. 7 papers without. With and 917 papers with. So this is just an example, a very fast around this. So conclusion. Let's hope that no conclusion happens. I mean, because otherwise we are finished. Nevertheless, what I can say is that the biggest effort is expected to come from regulation that has to make clear the legal role of Earth observation data in courts. Because it's not clear if this can provide an evidence that is legally accepted in the courts, in the debate at a legal level. So this relies on the certification of result and standardization of data processing. This is a very, very important issue to deal with. And a higher consciousness of environmental crime has to come also among researchers, because what we found in our databases is that something is missing in our sensitivity to this type of problem. So thank you. That's all for myself. Thank you.